All right. Welcome back to Stutter Chats. As we have a special guest today. He's one of the top heavyweight fighters in the UFC, a dominant wrestler, and a guy who has never shied away from a challenge inside and outside of the cage. He's built his career off hard work, grit, and staying true to himself. As you may know, his name is Curtis Blaydes. Welcome to the show, Curtis.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, so pretty much how it runs. Ask you a couple of questions and give best feedback you can to the people that of the studying community and all that good stuff. First question, man. Tell us a little about yourself and especially your journey as someone that stutters.
Well, 34 years old, from Chicago, the South Side. Went to private school my whole life, grade school, high school. I wrestled one state my senior year, '09. Went to Northern Illinois, wrestled there. I was on scholarship, lost my scholarship, bad grades. Went to a JUCO, was there for 2 years, won JUCO nationals. That was in 2012, and then I was gonna go back to school or go back to a D1 school. I didn't get my transcripts in the right amount of time, so I missed the fall semester. So I got into MMA. Really, I got into it just to stay in shape. Didn't want to because I planned on entering school in the spring semester, but I started doing MMA. Won my first few fights. Uh, Relatively easy, like easier than I was expecting. So I
Yeah.
was like, I guess I'm a natural at this. And my homies, the ones that got me into the amateur MMA, they were like, you could do this. So I decided to not go back to school and continue my wrestling career and started as an amateur in 2012 and September, and I turned pro in 2014, and I got in the UFC in 2016. And then I moved out here to Denver and been out here for the last 9 years.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing that story. How you got to where you at. I just want to go. I know you're a big Chicago Bears fan. Right?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about Caleb Williams? Just a question. I don't.
No,
You
I
think
still believe in it.
he's
Yeah, I
he's a
still
big
believe he's the
deal?
guy. He had to overcome a lot of adversity. We didn't have the best
Yeah.
offensive line. It was actually one of the worst.
Yeah,
We
you
didn't
guys
have
stacked up
great.
this off season.
Yeah, we addressed this. So I have hope, and then the draft's almost here. I'm hoping we get the best available pass rusher or best available uh but I think it's already of how we've addressed the offensive line, and we were able to hire the Lions guy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot his name, but you know
Solid.
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
great,
Solid guy.
great, great guy for offense. I think we're definitely gonna do better. We're not gonna do worse.
No, for
And
sure.
if you watch the Bears games, like I watched every game, we lost a lot of games like in the at the very end of the game. We were in a lot of those games. So I think we can win 8 or 9. I'd be happy with that. We don't have to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just want to grow.
Well, over here in Miami, I've been mediocre team. The Dolphins have been mediocre for the past 20 years that I've been watching.
At least you've made the playoffs a few times.
Yeah, that's true, man. But let's get right to it, man. I just want to talk about more about your stuttering and stuff like that. When was it? When did you first realize that you had a stutter, and how do you remember? And how do you remember how did
Mm,
you find out, or like who told you, hey, Curtis, this is a stuttering that you have?
think I think I always had it, but I don't think I like became aware of it until when you go to school and
Yeah,
growing up in
That's
in
tough.
Chicago on the south side, like they're gonna talk about you, regardless if you have a speech impediment, if you fat, if you skinny, if you light
Yeah.
skin, dark skin, they gonna get on you. And when you have something easy like a stutter, like so I remember as early as maybe first grade, like the age my daughter is right now. My daughter has a speech impediment, but hers is not as severe as mine. Hers is, and I've had her in speech therapy now for the past 2.5 years. It's gotten a
Okay.
lot better, and we don't, her mom and we don't like make it a big deal. It's like having an accent. Like, oh, you just have an
Yeah.
accent. So I don't want
Yeah.
her to ever be so conscious about it. And she knows I have a stutter. We have discussed it, but like she doesn't view it as an impediment or like an obstacle or like, oh, I'm weird.
Mm.
She doesn't view it that way. And that's when
Yeah. Definitely, bro. I think she sees you as a role model also. I think she sees you. Oh, look, I got my father, my dad, he also stutters, and it's okay.
that
It's
too.
okay. So look at that. So that's always having somebody to look up to. I think that's very important at a young age, especially for people that do stutter. And you having your father and your daughter having you as a role model. So that's awesome, man. And just uh, um, I recently also interviewed a professional fighter. One of my first interviews I had. Her name is Catherine Paraki, and her quote that she said, yeah, has a fight coming up now on May 10th on the bare knuckles, and
Oh,
yeah, bare
that shit,
knuckles, yeah, that's
that
tough.
shit wow. That shit crazy. That shit
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know she was in the Ultimate Fighting series too, so maybe you've heard about her or something. But one quote that she said that stuck out to me, and I want to tell everybody pretty much because it stuck out so much. It's our goal is not to be fluent. Our goal is to be understood.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's that's
That's a good one.
yeah, it is. So, oh yeah, man. I appreciate you telling me that, and how you, as a stutter growing up. I want to get into the MMA world, UFC world. I'm a sports athlete myself, and you're a sports athlete yourself too. Having a stutterer in the world where people trash talk, especially more in the UFC.
Yeah.
How has that been for you? Like, I'm somebody that I don't trash talk. I let my game speak more than
Exactly.
I
That's
talk.
that's
Um,
how I am. Uh, I think I got that because I wrestled and coming up in wrestling, you don't talk smack. You go out there, shake hands both before the match and after the match. Win, lose, or draw. Think
yeah,
you got screwed, whatever. And that's just that's not my thing. I'm not good at it. Like if you got it,
I
you
always
got
suck.
it, do it. Because the fans, they do like it.
They do.
It helps you with the promotion and all that stuff. So, like if you got it, you should definitely do it. But if you don't have it, you should not do it. It'll come back to bite you.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm not that big of a talker. I'm more of a I let my game speak for itself. But when was that one moment where you fully embraced who you are as a stutterer? Like, I'm Curtis Blayden, and I am a person that stutters. When have you when did you fully embrace that moment?
I think it was sports. It was r- me again with the wrestling. Although I did also play football, and I did talk smack in football. 'Cause that's just a part of the game. I was a good
Yeah,
athlete. But the wrestling, when I started to earn respect from other people at school, I went to all boys high school because I had horrible experience with emails at my grammar school. So I was like, you know what? I'm over being around girls, and I don't regret it. If I could go back in
yeah,
time, I would do it all over again. But the people I met, it was the right decision. And yeah, when I won state my senior year, just like all the pride and like people didn't care that I stuttered. That was like, you normally don't do a lot of interviews in high school unless you like the shit. I wasn't the
Yeah,
shit until after I won states. So I started doing interviews and like you have to speak and stuff and nobody cared. I was scared before. I was like, are they gonna like I'm gonna expose myself? But oh, they haven't heard me speak, so they think I'm just regular. But once they
yeah,
hear me speak, they're gonna think, oh, he's weird. Da, da, da. 'Cause a lot of people, I don't know if you got this, but a lot of people when you stutter, like people ask me my name. I stutter hard with like
yeah,
P words, S words, and my name is Curtis. So sometimes I stutter, they look at you like, are you special? And I
yeah,
hate that. I hate that.
yeah,
That's what that's what I was worried about when I first started doing interviews after I won state. But I stuttered and it was whatever, and that really helped.
yeah, yeah, definitely. No, no. I was gonna ask you that question because I usually ask everybody that was part of this podcast. So, what is that one word that you always get stuck in? And there's a
Saying,
trend.
yeah,
Yeah, bro, there's a trend that everybody's saying is their name. It's always
yeah,
like one of the main things they say. So it's crazy that like,
exactly. I hate it.
it's a
I
thing
hate
that
it.
we're used to saying all the time. We're used to it. We should know exactly, but I don't know what goes in our brains. Like it just goes crisscross, and then it's not. You can't even say it.
You think by now I would have it down, but I don't. I said it doesn't happen as often because as I've gotten older, I think it's a confidence thing. As you get
Yeah.
older and you're like, this is who I am. I don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
And it helps being a
Yeah.
professional athlete. 'Cause I'm
Definitely,
like,
man.
I
That's
know I have
awesome,
the
man.
strength.
That's
I know I don't have to worry about that.
yeah, man. And one thing that's big on people that do stutter, I feel like having that confidence in ourselves and also being physically active. Like I'm sure you're somebody that's always active, always working out, always running and doing stuff like that. And I'm sure working out and all that stuff helps you out with your stuttering, helps you out with your confidence, and makes you more confident in general.
Yeah. That that's why I want my daughter to do sports. 'Cause I want her to have this thing like the journey. I want her to make friends. It's an easy way to make friends because you hang out with them all the
It
time.
is.
And I want her to also gain the confidence just having to speak. But
Mm-hmm.
the great thing is my daughter already has it. Like when I watch her on the playground and she goes, she will just go up to people. Hi, my name's Harley. You want to play? She does it all the time. I love that. But that wasn't me.
That's awesome.
I was her age. That wasn't me.
Yeah, no, bro. That's awesome to see your daughter being like that at a young
She's six.
age. Okay, I'm being a parent. I'm s- I'm not a parent yet, but I'm sure from what I've heard, a parent always wants their kids to be better than themselves. So I'm sure seeing that is probably a whole emotional wave in your head and in your body. So that's awesome, and I'm glad that you're able to see that from your daughter. Um, and just wrap it up. Just one last question, man. Just what is that one piece of advice that you want to give somebody that does stutter? Yeah, it's one piece of advice that you think.
I know it's easier said than done, especially when you're a teenager and you're around the opposite section. You want to be like, you want to blend in. You don't want to stand out on that way. You just gotta own it. The more you run away from it, the worse it gets. That's how it was for me. Like the more I was like, oh God, this girl's gonna ask me my name. I'm gonna stutter. I'm gonna stutter. I'm gonna stutter. The less you do that, because it makes a mental block. And that's how I apply that with MMA also. Like I don't like if I'm going against a guy who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I'm not gonna be like, oh God, I have to avoid this, I have to avoid this. Because the more you do that, the more likely it's gonna happen. When you do
Hmm.
that with stuttering, oh God, I can't stutter, I can't stutter, I can't. You're gonna stutter worse. So it's easier just to do your best to let it flow. And you might stutter, whatever. I know it's easier said, but that's the best way to approach it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And there's and one question just came into my mind. Is there like a technique or something you go before you go into an interview, prepare yourself? You just go in there
Nah,
free.
I just go.
For
And that's been the best thing for me. I give my best, I give really good interviews now. Like a lot of people are like, can you have to stutter? And I guess a lot of people don't know they don't hear it all the time, but I just go because like usually I have adrenaline. Like usually I do interviews immediately after the fight.
mhm.
Adrenaline's going. Like as an athlete, it's
Yeah,
like when you get the adrenaline going, your words just come out
definitely.
better. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah, man. But just I want to go back to quick, just about sports, man. I know you stated you played football and defensive end. I played high school football only. I just played high school football. I played college
Me too.
baseball.
Me too. Just
Oh,
high
okay,
school.
okay. I played college baseball, but in my high school, man, I've never played football my whole life, bro. Never played football. I just had a cannon of an arm. I was a pitcher. I was a pitcher, and the high school football coach was on top of me since freshman year. Yo, I need you to be quarterback. I need you to be quarterback. And the main reason why I didn't play quarterback, it wasn't because I
Oh
was not
yeah.
good.
Yeah, because you got to give the play. Oh no.
I
Oh
was like,
no.
bro.
Oh no. Oh
And
no.
then senior year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go try this out. I was like, whatever, I'll go try this out. Man, I had to have my halfback, my running back.
God.
He had to call
Yeah.
the plays, man.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah, you had to be quick, man. You had to be quick there in the signs. And man, that was the
Yeah.
hardest time I had playing the sport, man. But I wish I really didn't. At least I played it. I I could say I played high school football, quarterback, and stuff like that. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
one of those. It is. Yeah, but where I played, man, were a bunch of Hispanics who mostly play soccer. And
Yeah.
I was the biggest guy there on my team. I'm like 6'3", and my offensive line were like 5'8", 5'7".
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, that's
yeah,
pain.
man. Yeah, bro. But hey Curtis, man. I just wanna wrap this up, and but I really appreciate you taking your time and sharing
No
your
problem.
story as a stutterer, man. I know you've been very busy with your fight coming up in July, in June or July.
July
July, all right,
21st.
definitely,
What
man.
the? No, no, no.
And
June.
man,